Yo, Micah, I know.
Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here. I'm going to check. Okay.
God. Ninja, you were born for that board, man.
So much going on over here.
I'll tell you what, anytime you hear the voice of both Cole the Phenom Campbell and Micah Wiener on the same day, it's going to be a real good day.
Hello, it me.
Hashtag blessed.
Shouts to you guys and, of course, the king of the bubble butt baddie empire. Shouts to the Phenom.
Shouts to the Phenom.
I've not checked in on our boy since he started leaning the Q direction early in 2022, but he may be overdue for some content consumption on my behalf. But
we'll be happy to know he's still doing his thing over there, man.
Well, he's fasting again, so he's probably going to slim down pretty quick.
He might even shorten it to a 4-hour feeding window. He's really going all in to speed up the weight loss. I'm sorry.
I judge it by like who I hear his content from. Like I know it's absolute gold if it's from Micah or somebody in our group chat. But and this is clearly not offense to the recently married RKP, the former RK Real Cat Pat. I don't know what her new abbreviation is, but when she brings something to the group chat, I always know it's like, oh, by the way, Cole Campbell's busting out his OnlyFans subscription now. Like it's never anything that I need to see.
If you want us to add you to the, I don't know, forget the name of the actual thread, but it's the Cole Campbell appreciation group chat. And it's me, Micah, J-Bone, and Will currently, but there's always room for a fifth if you're ready. We'll tap you in whenever you want.
I'm not there yet. But before we get too far into things, let's go ahead and talk about our good friends over at DraftKings, because as we all know, football season's kicked off. Teams are breaking down film and getting ready for their next game, aren't we all? While teams are working on their game plan, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is drawing up the winning play for all of their new customers. All new customers need to do is sign up using promo code WASHED, bet $5 on any team to win before the game kicks off, and you'll receive an additional $200 in free bets if your team wins. Pick one game, figure out any bet that Dave has put down, fade it, put down $5. DraftKings is going to hit you with $200 in free bets. It's right now, new customers who bet $5 on any team to win in their next game will win an additional $200 in free bets if their team wins. Plus, with same game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game. Give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings all season long. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they've been innovating in more ways with even more ways to win some cash this football season. DraftKings has been around for a minute or a while. So if you know your funds are safe, it can be withdrawn whenever, wherever you want. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use promo code WASH receive $200 in free bets if their team wins after placing $5 down on a pregame wager. It's promo code WASH, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, look for the details in the show notes. Some people call it an episode bio. Anyways, let's dig in.
Yes, shouts to DraftKings. I was recently in New York where sports gambling is legal. I downloaded the DraftKings app, hit it with promo code WASHED. It was shockingly easy, and then I cashed out before I left town, and the money was back in my bank account. It was incredible. Shouts to legalized gambling. It's remarkable.
There's been more than one occasion. I live now in Madison, Wisconsin. Mike, I'm not sure if you're aware. I've dedicated my entire life to cruising around, finding a vanity license plate that just says J-Bone, just in case. Who knows what kind of impact he left here locally. But that's about 45 minutes from the state border with Illinois. Not a bad jaunt at all. And I'm just going to say it, more than one occasion. I've said, you know what? I'll take the long way home. go place a couple bets on the other side of the state line. Come on back. If they hit, I'll return to cash out. I've not made a second trip yet.
Can I ask you a
No.
question about living in Wisconsin?
Yeah, of course.
I know that we're here to do a sports podcast, and I'm thrilled to be on with you guys. But, I've seen a lot of. Okay, all right, JY. Yeah, that's good. I've seen a lot of menus at restaurants in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And it seems like, and everybody sees a menu. The top left corner, you have appetizers or starters, whatever they may be. They seem to all be some variation of fried cheese in Wisconsin. Yeah. Is that true?
That is true. But coming here from Texas, I just look at it like we're missing an opportunity for like queso flights. I feel like most restaurants struggle to like execute one good queso. They could cover up that like averageness by just releasing like 5 versions and making a sub menu of their own. Wisconsin tops out at about a B on some of their cheese dishes, but the variety is like an A triple plus. So, I don't hate them for trying.
Great. Thank you.
No, anytime, Micah.
We asked the important questions here. That was good.
Let's fill the good people in on.
That's directed at Micah, I'm pretty sure.
Let's fill the good people in on where Mike has been all these days, because the sun is clearly shining in Dripping Springs, Texas. But from the content game, I hear there's been a little bit of a revival.
Oh, well, I mean, content never stops, fam. You guys know that. I mean, what are we talking about here? You guys know to check me out at Mind of Micah. Let's see if my sound effects work.
Yeah, I figured you'd get there.
Yeah, thank you. Mind of Micah. This week, we had a couple great reads, Micah's read of the week. And then coming tomorrow, actually, I had an interview with our friend, Dr. Mark Allen, who recently went to London to watch the Saints play. And if you're anything like me, you watch those games, the London games. They're football. They're on in the morning. You're like, okay. And you're like, oh, this is cool. It's in England. And then, like, it looks like an NFL game, and it's cool. We like pro football here. But I always wonder, like, what's the makeup? How many Americans are there? Are there expats? Are there fans of these actual teams? Does anyone care? Are they just there for the punts and the kicks? I ask all these questions and more to our friend Mark Allen, coming tomorrow to Mind of Micah. Also, you can still check out Backdoor Cover, of course. Yeah, thank you.
You didn't realize he was only halfway through his plugs.
Yeah,
I haven't even gotten. No, we're not even halfway through. We're
He's only 2
on
minutes in. On my bad.
the program. Yes, we'll do mid-roll ads.
Well, I'm sure the people are excited to hear that. It was a phenomenal game he got to see. So, if nothing else, that would have been an experience regardless of the location.
Yes, that was for those who don't remember, that was the game 2 weeks ago, Vikings Saints, with the double doink off the 61-yard field goal at the horn. A remarkable turn of events.
Yes.
Tremendous. Well, we don't have a ton on the rundown, but I do think it's appropriate, not only because it's Eagles-Cowboys week, and we can get into that game later on when we get into dip picks, but news came out today, and it's not really news. As we all know, the Washington Commanders are now known as the Commanders because their owner, Dan Snyder, is amongst the most notorious, complete assholes that are owners of sports teams. Recently reported that Dan Snyder's been very open about saying he's got dirt. I ain't going anywhere. I'm taking people down with me. Specifically mentioned that he's hired a law firm to hire a private investigator to investigate one Jerry Jones. So figured none other than Weedham Boys' biggest fans might have something to say on that.
Micah, you want to start?
I mean, as you mentioned, it's not breaking news. It's not breaking news that Daniel Snyder is a scumbag. I mean, everybody knows this. He's also run a totally incompetent franchise for decades now. I think he's been an owner for 25 years or something. The quote from the ESPN piece, which is impeccably reported by Don Van Natta, is "They can't fuck with me," is what he's telling people privately. My favorite quote, though, is that he says, the NFL is a mafia. All the owners hate each other, he recently told an associate. And then there's another quote from a veteran owner that says, that's not true. All the owners hate Dan.
Yeah.
So
That would have been my assessment without even hearing from another owner. It's like
he's hired investigators.
Dripping.
No one likes Dan
brains,
Snyder.
more like dripping signal.
yeah, that would have been my assessment after
No.
hearing Dan Snyder's quote before even hearing the quote from another owner. Yeah, are you sure everyone hates everyone? Because I'm pretty sure everyone just hates you, buddy. The guy's just an ultimate scumbag, and apparently he dug up some dirt on Jerry Jones. Not sure what else you can say about
That's
Jerry
not hard
Jones
to do.
that hasn't already been discovered and released at this point. I was talking to KJ before we started recording. It's like just hop on TMZ and just do a search for Jerry Jones, and you'll find everything you need on that guy. It's pretty public already. Just an ultimate douchebag, scumbag. I can't stand that guy.
If Dave
Not
is
Jerry
listening,
Dan, that is.
yeah, exactly. If Dave is listening at this point,
Well, they're both scumbags.
very true. As many rich men, have seemingly earned the ability to be. But if David's listening at this point, he is likely saying, or just show up at any meat casino north of 635 in Dallas and just wait around for a bit. You'll find Jerry Jones dirt to be dug. So I had to get that in there for him. That's no surprise to anybody. Are you excited that Cooper Rush is your quarterback for the next decade?
I mean, the dude is an excellent backup quarterback. There is no controversy, even though people want to make it out to be one. You don't pay Dak as much as you're paying Dak without giving him the keys back when he's ready. A great plan B, though. The dude is undefeated in his last 5 starts.
I don't
know if Cooper Rush will be with the Cowboys as a backup quarterback for the next season, 10 seasons.
Yeah.
But he will almost
agreed.
certainly be with the franchise for the next 15 because Jones loves backup quarterbacks. It's bizarre that he did the same thing with Jason Garrett and now with Kellen Moore. And so I do look forward to Cooper Rush being a part of my Cowboy fandom through the 2030s.
Front office personnel and sports analysts on Quibi Part 2.
Is he going to play himself into a starting job for a different team next year?
Reflexively, I'll say no. I think he's
balling out.
He had like 90 yards.
He's not putting up huge numbers, but he's doing enough.
Which I feel like that's what Jimmy Garoppolo is the king of, and everybody hates Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason. Like nobody wanted him, this year, and then the Niners were like, "Yeah, we're kind of glad we had to keep him." But again, I think that there are many examples of tremendously bad quarterbacks in the NFL. So he'll end up somewhere where he'll be like Andy Dalton's a backup quarterback right now. And I don't think any of us would have said, okay, I'll start my team and I'm going to pick Cooper Rush over Andy Dalton today. So he's going to end up somewhere like that where a team's not that confident in their quarterback and they draft a rookie and he's going to be on that roster to compete. Or you have like a Jameis situation where we need to make sure we've got something if this guy is gone next year. So who knows? All right. Well, before we get into games, as I'm just checking in on the internet, it seems Woodman's, which is a store here locally in Wisconsin, is trending. That is because a video of the pizza aisle in the local Woodman's has gone viral. You ever heard about going viral, Dylan? You know anything about that?
I'm very used to the feeling of going viral. Yes, I actually saw this video. It hit my TL earlier today. And it's just because of all the frozen pizzas that were available on the aisle?
Basically. It is a little ridiculous to dedicate an entire frozen food aisle just to frozen pizzas. But I guess the one clarification that should be known about this Woodman's place is that A, it's oversized, like it's their bit to be a little bit large. And B, the most trash thing about Madison specifically is that there are next to no 24-hour places. Like we lack Whataburger. Culver's is pretty tight up here, but like Whataburger being 24/7 is something that's not appreciated enough in some places. Here, you have no options aside from like a gas station and this Woodman's grocery store. So like that's what they're good for.
Does this Woodman's serve a clientele of single men in their 20s? Because if that is exclusively the people that shop there, they'll be selling those pizzas all day.
That's a good business play. I agree.
Yeah. We don't know the makeup of that neighborhood. Maybe you're closer to it.
Yeah, there are quite a few young men in their 20s here in this town, but I don't know if there's that many ZA cards to go around. Like this is a little bit of Zaflation. You know, I think that's what we're seeing here. A lot of
ZA cards need to be played. Fair point.
Well, let's jump right in to dip picks because there is quite a slate of college football games going on this Saturday. So many so that picking the college football games was quite easy. Not quite the same to be said for tonight's absolute dumpster fire of a Thursday night football game. I don't know if y'all saw last week's Colts and Denver game, but tonight,
trash.
Highly recommend you watch the game that Dylan's got on, which is what, Baylor, West Virginia?
Baylor, yeah, I think Baylor just went ahead. I'm not sure. I watch it on my computer screen via my camera, but I think they just scored a touchdown and go ahead 10-7.
I mean, do you think Jeff Bezos is somewhere like just screaming, these are the worst fucking games in the world? What has the NFL done to me? Is it some cruel joke?
If he's not screaming it, Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels were definitely screaming it on the broadcast last week. Like Al Michaels tried to like prop it up and say, well, you know, I'm sure you've seen in your career, I certainly have. There are games like this that could be this bad. In the fourth quarter, you turn around, you get a good game. Herbstreit's like, yeah, I don't know if I see that happening here.
This game looks to be even worse than last week's game was
worse.
It looks worse on paper. I mean, Wentz, Justin Fields, that doesn't do a whole lot for me. These teams stink. The teams last week stunk as well. Not excited. Yeah, I'm going to stick to this Big 12 game.
Yeah, so I bring up the Big 12 one first because David did legitimately hit us in the group text earlier in advance of the 6 p.m. kickoff saying that Baylor -3 is his big boy stack. So I want to get ahead of that and announce it, 40 minutes into the game, because if I wait and Baylor's ahead huge, that wouldn't be so pretty. So let's start off with Thursday night football. Get that out of the way. Commanders at Chicago, Washington at Chicago. Bears are getting 1 point at home. They don't know who the hell's going to win. They don't really care. David's going with Washington. Dylan, who do you have?
I'm also going to go with Washington. Both teams stink, like I said. I think Washington stinks a little less than the Bears. So, yeah, I got Washington -1.
Micah, why don't you share your thoughts? I'm going to try to share my screen. The framing might look fucked up, but, we need to work on making sure that people can follow along on this a little better anyway. So we'll see what we got. Go ahead.
These teams stink. This game stinks. I suppose I'll ride with Chicago. I feel like they've been shockingly competent. They have 2 wins already. Matt Eberflus is famously a legendary defensive coordinator at the University of Missouri and now a head coach in the NFL. I just think they find a way to beat this pathetic commie team. And I mean, this could be another 9-6 game. Like it's going to be ugly. Apparently there's rain in Chicago. I mean, first team to 10 wins.
And before anybody gets at me about the percentages here, I didn't update those yet, but the overall records and the big boy stacks records on the year are accurate. Micah, the guests could use your assistance as they've only hit 1 big boy stack. I have exhausted all of my luck early in the year and hit 4 or 5. Dylan and David are catching up. So.
Dave's picking a 28% clip right now. Mm-hmm. It's not good.
And that's not accurate to his total record, but that's where he was last week. So these percentages are the one thing that I didn't go back and convert, but he is 14-31 on the year. You're 18-27. I'm 5 over 500, 25-20. Guests are at 24 and 31.
Am I reading this right? Dave was 17 games under 500.
He is. The records are accurate. The percentages,
percentages
the percentages.
that's not
like,
great, Dave.
Like I'm not 50% anymore.
That ain't it. KJ, have you picked yet?
I have not. I was trying to work on this whole share screen thing. So, give me Washington. I'll go down with the ship here. The Brian Robinson video was pretty tight. Anytime you're in pads, 4.5 weeks after getting shot, that's pretty tight.
It was a great theme song too.
Yeah, if they did actually play 50 Cent, that is.
Apparently they play the instrumental and not the actual lyrical version.
Yeah, because they have so much to lose, credibility wise. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so to start things off at 11 a.m. on Big Nude Saturday, we do have number 10 Penn State undefeated at number 5 undefeated Michigan. Michigan's favored by 7 at home. David's going with Penn State. Who do you have, Dylan?
Yeah, Michigan is actually one of Brett's teams to watch this year who might be good. I think that's how he phrases it. Undefeated Michigan might be good. I agree, but I think Penn State keeps it close enough to cover here.
I don't see this being a big game either, spread-wise. Yeah, give me Penn State to cover. Shouts to Jay Blue out there.
Oh, gosh. I was thinking Penn State too. This seems like too many points. But maybe I should go opposite of the squad. I don't know. Shouts to Will in Michigan, a longtime listener of Backdoor Cover. I'm taking Penn State to cover, though.
Okay, number 3, Alabama. At number 6, Tennessee. Tennessee getting 7 points at home. Tennessee's offense is quite exciting to see. It's hard to say the quality of secondaries they've played. I'm not judging one way or the other. But they seem to have something going. Do we know if Bryce Young is playing?
He is not playing. According
I
to
am not picking them. I will take Tennessee at home. Micah.
I think he's
the
not.
points seem enticing. And are we confirmed Bryce Young is not playing? I apologize.
I'm looking it up right now. I don't think he's playing.
Okay. If he's out, it doesn't matter. I'm still going with Alabama. Tennessee, though they have looked good, will lay an egg in the biggest game they've played in about 20 years at home. The offense that Heupel runs is very quick, fast-paced. They're the fastest-paced team in the country. In my experience watching football against this Alabama juggernaut over the last 10 to 15 years, that doesn't work because you just go 3 and out really fast. And so I'm inclined to take Bama with or without the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yep, Bama went to the wire with Texas, and then again against a very pitiful Texas A&M team at home without Bryce Young. Milroe, the backup quarterback who's playing right now, is a turnover machine. I think he got a lot of it out of his system last week, though. I think Bama wins this one by about 10 points. I got Bama.
David has Tennessee for those listening at home or on their work break. Oklahoma State, OK State at TCU, number 8 at number 13. TCU's favored by 3.5. I think, Micah, you were up on this.
Okay. I don't know if you've got your hand on the Cole Campbell soundbite, but this is also my big boy stack.
Oh,
ooh,
I like it. Well,
give me.
Go ahead.
And KJ, you'll like it. Give me the Okies. I think Oklahoma State's good. TCU did get past Kansas last week. I'm just not sure that TCU is playoff caliber. I think Oklahoma State might be. Give me Okie State.
Dylan.
I would take it if they were laying the points, truthfully.
Wow.
Getting big. God damn.
Thanks, fam.
I don't know what to make of this game. They're both really good. They both have great quarterback play, good offenses. I tend to agree with Micah though. I think it'll be a very close, high-scoring game. If TCU does win, I think it's very, very close, like I said. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
Wow. I was picking this game not like it's a shock to say this is where their luck runs out, but you know what? Give me TCU to fade. I won't even feel bad about it. They've got some talent. I still think you've got to go with the better quarterback here. That's Spencer Sanders, but give me TCU for the upset.
You sure
there.
he's better? You sure he's better than Duggan?
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
that he is.
Yeah. I just have nothing in me that can give Duggan any sort of respect, even if he's earned it.
Pretend you didn't hate TCU for a second, though. Would you still say that?
He was in somewhat of a competition with Chandler Morris at the beginning of the year and finished off the year last year like terribly. I think he does well in the system. I don't think that he is going to do much going forward.
I mean, Quinn Ewers was battling out with Hudson Card at the beginning of the year. Now he's the best quarterback in college football. So what does that tell you?
That he was young. Max Duggan's like a third-year quarterback, a 3-year starter. USC at Utah, number 7 and number 20. There are other big games this weekend that probably could have deserved some attention. Auburn at Ole Miss. Auburn's kind of garbage. Same thing like Kansas at OU, Iowa State at Texas. Like all of those are worth attention. But I like to spread out the timing of these games. 15, NC State at 18. Syracuse is probably something I probably could have gone with because we've talked a lot of USC and Utah. But this being a night game, being a Pac-12 game, I figured it was worth our attention unless anybody thinks 16 Mississippi State and Kentucky was worth talking about. So David picked Utah here. Utah's favored by 3.5 at home. Dylan, you're up.
This line is surprising to me. It seems too easy to pick USC. It seems like they're going to win outright. Not to discredit Utah. It's a good football team. Anytime I think this way, it usually goes the other way. So I too am going to ride with Utah.
I'll fade Dylan on this one. Sorry, and that half point is the difference here. I like the hook. Give me USC.
I'm just going to confidently take USC as well. I think Utah is good. I just don't think that they've won enough big games against good teams to like warrant how much attention they've had all year. And they lost that game on the road against Florida. I don't blame them as much as the environment, but like they laid an egg against Chip Kelly's neck. So I can't pick them again. I'm taking USC. Bengals at the Saints, noon on Sunday. We have no London game this week. In the morning slate of games is absolute trash. I highly recommend you plan all of your weekend events for Sunday morning, all of your items that you need to get done for the SIGOTH. Get them out of the way in the morning because the afternoon and the night will be fire. David's going with the Bengals on the road, getting 2 or favored by 2. I think I'm up here. I'm not. Dylan, you're up.
I'm also on the Bengals. I know they've been struggling early this year, but I don't have any faith in the Saints.
Is Jameis still out?
I believe so.
I haven't seen anything that says he would be bad. I have no idea what his injury even is. Still day-to-day, returns to practice, but it doesn't look like he's going to be playing. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bengals.
I can't imagine Jameis versus Andy Dalton is too much of a needle mover in Las Vegas, but I don't know. I'll ride with Cincinnati here too. Is this Who Day versus Who Day?
It is, and it's Joe Burrow back in the Superdome.
Ooh. Yeah, give me Cincinnati. I keep waiting for this Bengals team to really have a big breakout 450-yard passing performance as I have all of their players on my fantasy team, which stinks.
I think Burrow's my quarterback. It's amazing what no T. Higgins will do to a team.
Fantasy alert. Sorry.
Buffalo Bills at the Chiefs. The first time that Pat Mahomes has been a dog at home since becoming a starter, I believe, in whatever 40 games, however many it is that he's been a starter at home. Bills are favored by 2.5 on the road. I am up to start here. I'm looking forward to all the pictures of the tailgaters lined up, like starting tomorrow. Give me the Chiefs to remind people that they're not that bad. And the Bills ain't that team yet, even though they're still my Super Bowl pick. Micah.
This is a field goal game, right? I mean, the half point kills me. I wish it was 3, because if it was 3, I would confidently go with the Chiefs. I will ride with the Chiefs anyway, getting points in a close one. If I'm sure there's a prop on DraftKings using promo code washed, where you could bet that this game will be decided by exactly 3 points. That's what I would like to bet.
There definitely is. A little tease up, I believe, is what they would refer to that as. And I might have that wrong. David has the Chiefs as well. Dylan.
You guys put this on a tee for me to fade all 3 of you, and I will gladly do so. The Bills are for real. I do think they win this game. 7 to 10 points, somewhere in there. I feel good about fading you guys here.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that position. Okay, Sunday night, the game that nobody's been waiting on, Jalen Hurts, Cooper Rush in Philadelphia. Eagles are favored by 6.5. Dak is still not back, although he had a firm handshake on Monday, so I don't know what happened. David's going with the Cowboys. Micah, start us off.
Well, as you can see with the lighting behind me, I might be supporting America's team, but I am riding with the Eagles. And the Cowboys stink on offense, and they're going to stink. Their biggest strength is a defense that is tremendous, with a player, really with difference makers on all 3 levels. But I think Jalen Hurts' mobility takes some of the Micah Parsons strength of that defense away. I just think the Eagles are a better team, especially at home. They win the game by a touchdown or more. I do have a question for you guys, though. As a new homeowner, it's been really fun for me to decorate my house for spooky season. Are y'all's homes decorated for spooky season?
That is on my honey-do list over the weekend, is to put it together. So not yet, but very soon, yes. Outside only is the deal I made with Bay.
Okay.
She was against it, but I was like, we got to do it for the kids. She said, okay, outside only.
I've been using this purple light out my window with a skull, or with a skeleton up on the top floor. It looks very spooky from the outside.
I've got we hit up a farm. Farms are real things here in Wisconsin. Pretty dope kid events for sure. So we picked up a few different pumpkins. That's all we have out front. A few gourds, if you will. A little seasonal gourd action. Indoors, not that much. I would say I'd be putting up more this weekend, but your boy will be making his first trip to Lambeau Field to watch Zach Wilson, his mother's friend, take on Aaron Rodgers and all the ayahuasca in Green Bay. So I'll report back on what that experience is like this weekend. As far as this game goes, Dylan, who you have? Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles getting or favored by 6.5.
Yeah, that's a lot of points against a team that is playing some really good football on the defensive side. I don't think the Cowboys necessarily win the game. They might, but I think it's going to be a very close game no matter which way it goes. And for that reason, I'm on the boys to cover that 6.5.
I like it.
I hope you're right.
Give me the Eagles. I've got no hesitation about saying this is a game where the Eagles show that it kind of helps to invest in your team in the offseason in addition to drafting well. The Cowboys have, to their credit, drafted quite well over the last handful of years. In fact, like 85 to 90% of their, like 90% of their team, we'll say, is all draft picks and developing them. The Eagles have done that as well, and also gone out and gotten A.J. Brown and made some moves. The Cowboys lack that in a lot of spaces. So I think the Eagles.
And to be clear, it's also because the Cowboys fall in love with their own players because they're managed poorly by that idiot Jerry Jones. And so then they overpay their in-house guys because they fall in love with them. And then they can't afford to go get the other guys. Jerry would, but he can't because he's incompetent.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't fault you. If Shad Khan was out there overpaying a blocking running back, the amount that Zeke is being paid, like if there's anything to be redeemable about being a Jags fan, it's that our front office is dumb enough to like let talent go a little too early, even if like there's a lot of potential where it would have looked poor, like overpaying Jalen Ramsey. The Rams probably have some questions on it, as would the Bucs about Fournette. They also have those are two Super Bowl winning teams. So I don't know who's the idiot, you know? Anyways, let's get our big boy stacks out of the way and get the hell out of here. Dylan, do you have yours?
I do have mine. I am on Nebraska plus 13.5 against Purdue. I hit up my boy K Money, who's my go-to source for all things college football. And he thinks Purdue stinks, and they do. Also, Nebraska is playing to save their interim coach, keep him in place. Again, this is per K Money. So yeah, I got Nebraska plus 13.5.
Which I don't think we've talked about the fact that Nebraska's coach, Mickey Joseph, is brother of the man who's always having the time of his life, former Broncos coach, Vance Joseph.
I did not know that.
I was not aware. Not aware. He's apparently been around Nebraska for quite some time, but that is who their interim coach is. You said Nebraska plus 12 or 13? I'm sorry.
13.5.
Yeah, give him 13.5. He deserves it.
Wait, they're 13.
You're going to bet on Nebraska
dogs?
in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah.
You deserve all the points.
Oh, I don't hate that at all.
Not a good football team, KJ.
Oh, no, I understand. They picked up a big win last week over Michigan State. No, somebody. They actually put up some points.
Casey Thompson.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I went on a rant on Monday about the fact that Chanticleers are not ranked. I'm going to back that up by saying that JMU, James Madison, alum, what do you call it? The school where somebody's SIGA here attended, they're the 25th ranked team here in the country. They are also favored over Georgia, one of the two, Southern or State this week. Let me go back and get the line.
Southern, I believe.
Southern. Yeah, over Southern by like 10 or 11. I've completely lost my spot looking for that Nebraska line. They're favored by 11.5 on the road in Statesboro. Give me Statesboro to cover. I'll regret it, but I'm going Georgia Southern at home plus 11.5. Get the Chanticleers ranked yesterday.
There we go. They beat Rutgers by 1. A famously great program.
See, I mean, at least I'm not sitting here completely trashing James Madison. All right. Well, any last thoughts before we get the hell out of here?
Just happy to see Micah's face back on my screen.
Okay.
This has been a lot of fun. And you know what else is a lot of fun, guys? Home ownership, as I mentioned. And the best way to achieve home ownership is to visit MicahWiener.com, MICAHWIENER. Anybody who wants to accumulate wealth in America should do it through home ownership, and I can help you as a mortgage lender and former realtor. MicahWiener.com. Schedule your risk-free consultation with me today. And that's all. It's been great talking to you guys.
I don't know if you're paying attention to the comments here, but you are just widely beloved amongst all the dip nation out there, man. It
means a lot. Normally,
and I can't say I blame them.
Normally, it's a much more polarizing experience, but I tried to tone it down a little bit tonight.
I like the hedging. We might.
That's great.
I'm gonna
thank you, Micah.
Wrong button, but whatever. That feels good. That feels good. All right, let's get the heck out of here. I'll find the right button. Bye-bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip.